All right. So check it, man. Today we have a gift. And I don't think y'all understand what type of album we're dealing with right now. This is Loaf Muzik, Knowledge Born. Now, when I got hooked to these guys, thanks to Team Backpack, man, I was waiting for something past Live from the Dungeon. You know, when I finally came back to it, came to my senses, stopped sleeping on them, and enjoyed the album for what it really is. And I realized just what kind of jewels these guys are. And then Ramadan came around, and a lot happened this June. A lot of albums dropped. You got Show for the Beatdown. Loaf Muzik dropped this. I got a couple more albums in these reviews that are coming out. But this was the best birthday present I could ask for, man. Loaf Muzik dropped Knowledge Born. Without further ado, man, let's get into this joint.
This is your life, this is your mind, this is your life, this is yours, this is your life, this is your mind, this is your world, it's yours. How long has it been since you got to think for yourself, think for yourself, and how long has it been since you've had some time to yourself, unwind with yourself, you can do anything.
All right. Oh, man, what can I even say about this album, man? First of all, okay, let's just do the easy part. This album was not easy to dissect, like not easy for me to do my like usual thing on. Like I usually pick 3 tracks and decipher this, get the overall feel of the album. This was not easy to pick 3 tracks. Why, you ask? Because every track on this thing, I take it back, not every track, almost every track except one, I couldn't live without. It wouldn't be the project without. Like, they're so good. Like, you got everything, and there's a good range on this. Like, you got everything from storytelling to history to their personal life stories to just the everyday hustle, everyday grind. You know, there's just everything on this album, and there's not one bad track on this album. Even the track I could live without, which is Worry About Mine. Now, it was mostly Shine Sinatra on this track, and I love my man Shine, but I think that should go on his mixtape that's coming out soon. That felt like a Shine Sinatra type of thing. I don't think it belonged on this album. That's just me. That's the only vice I have with this album. Only complaint. But don't get me wrong. Worry About Mine is still a dope track. I just think it feels like a Shine Sinatra album. I really do. I think that's like a throwaway from his album. He said, I think he was just chopping up with the crew and was like, you know what? It don't feel like my album, bruh. Let me just throw it on a Knowledge Board. And, you know, that's the crew, so they let him do it. But I just don't think, in terms of the whole thing, it fit. But anyway, okay. So I had to listen to this thing. And this is why this review took so long to come out. Because I had to listen to this thing multiple times. Not only because I really wanted to, but because to decipher, to get all the juice out of it, and really trim it down to my top 3 tracks. And before I even tell you my top 3 tracks, these are very small margins. To be honest, I'm looking at this list, and there's some tracks that I really enjoy for different reasons. But when it came down to deciphering which top 3 it would be, it came down to the beat. Shout out to KidzinBrooklyn. Let's talk about KidzinBrooklyn for a second. All the beats is fire. All the beats is legendary. I can see older heads asking for these beats, but even down the line, like, this album's gonna be classic, and people be asking for these beats to freestyle too. I can see like Funk Flex or Sway in the Morning. Sway in the Morning and Funk Flex could play some of these beats, to be honest. Like the beat off Autopsy. Oh man, I can imagine some legendary artists coming freestyling that. I can imagine like a lot of these beats. I can imagine people freestyling too. But enough about the beats. Shout out to KidzinBrooklyn, man. Shout out. Y'all did a pristine job with those beats. Producers don't get enough love out here, and KidzinBrooklyn, y'all did your thing. Much love. As I was saying before, coming down to determine the top 3 that I had to literally meticulously go through every beat, which of the 3 beats that I liked went with the lyrics. So that means I broke down the beats and compared them to like how on beat the artists were, or how the cadence or the tone of the rap verses went with the beat. You feel what I'm saying? I really went into this joint, and this is just my opinion, but I think the top 3 tracks for me are these: Old Earth, The Message, and Born to Be King. Now, let's start from my bottom up. So my 3rd place, The Message. Now, I love tracks from Loaf Muzik where they're all on it, like when they all got a verse, because it's Loaf Muzik. Like when the whole group is represented, there's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like it. The reason I adore this track so much and why it's been on repeat for so long is because it's kind of introducing the whole feel of the album. I don't know why it's so far into it. I don't know what track it is, but give me a second to look that up. It introduces the feel. It really does, and it's like a preview of what they're about to give you. Yeah, it's track number 4. I think it should have been at the top, like right under Knowledge. They did the thing. Hey, their creative project. I can't say a word on what they're gonna do. Yeah, because I really think it should have been closer to like the intro or something, like a second intro. So I don't know. But the message, I love the message, man. You know, from everything, and it had good range to it. Everything from Shine Sinatra. I love Sinatra's voice on the thing. Shadow the Great, Also Dope, Kidap. What can I say, man? Go listen to the album. Go listen to this track, and you get a feel for like a preview of what's gonna happen during this album. It's a different feel from Live from the Dungeon for sure. The next track, and these two right here are very close. Like, when I mean runners up versus the only thing separating number 1 for number 2 is how many times I played it, literally, because I love both these tracks to death. Old Earth is number 2. Let's talk about this, okay? Old Earth. Up until this point, I know that they do some storytelling tracks, but they really wanted to get an emotional vibe, and they really delivered an emotional vibe on this, you know? This is especially enlightening to their personal life and their personal struggles. I know Shadow the Great had his Back to Brooklyn project where he talked about like he gave us a peek of stuff like on Keep Dreaming, and you know, Kidaf had his parts, his mixtape, Adolescence, and he had some verses on there where he was getting into it, but they really delve deep into the pain and the struggle that they live with. Like, I didn't know Kidaf was working a 9 to 5 still and all that, you know. I didn't know it was that hard. Well, everybody works a 9 to 5, but you know, I didn't know his mother was in such a critical condition and everything. Like, they really, I don't want to spoil it. I kind of spoiled everything. I didn't spoil everything, but you know, they really gave us a lot of personal gems and a lot of personal pain, and expose themselves, they put themselves out there as artists. They really did. That takes a lot of bravery to do. I always salute an artist who can do that, you know, just share, you know, be open. And I know they were going for a storytelling vibe, and they did that, man. You know, they were open, they were raw. This was especially enlightening to me in terms of Shine Sinatra and Also Dope's lifestyles, because Also Dope and Shine Sinatra don't have their debut projects, like their solo projects, out yet. So I didn't get to hear, like, you know, about their life. This is the first actual time I'm getting a deep delve into Shine Sinatra and Also Dope. And while I'm on the note of that, this album, I'm really proud of my man Shine Sinatra. Of all 4 of them, I love. Don't take this out of context. Okay. When I first heard Loaf Muzik, right? I loved everybody. But I had a ranking. Like, Key Dad was my favorite, and then Also Dope and Shadow the Great were like a tie, and then there was Shine Sinatra at the bottom of my list. Don't get me wrong, Shine Sinatra was dope, but he only had like the Keep It Real piece out and the Pyrex piece. So basically, when I heard him on a track, you know, his voice was awesome. He's got that deep New York voice, which is really dope, man. He must got a lot of females with that. But you know, beyond that, he sounded like every other rapper to me. You know, I had sex with your girl. You know, I don't care about what you think. And to be honest with you, it really disappointed me. Like, I was trying to, like, as a fan and a critic. You know, I'm not just a stan. You know, I'll critique an artist. Shine Sinatra, I didn't see why he was in Loaf Muzik, because Shadow the Great, Key Dav, Also Dope, don't get me wrong, they got their own flexing type of tracks, but all I heard Shine Sinatra do was flex. He didn't have any range, and that really annoyed me as a fan. Like, I was like, okay, so of this group, which is really dope, and don't get me wrong, I love him to death, but as a fan, my critique was like, yo, this guy isn't doing anything for me besides his dope voice. He's not really giving me anything. So on this album though, Knowledge Born, I finally got to see Shine Sinatra's range, and his story and his pain and stuff like that, and he's really put himself out there, and he's really giving us more range. So I'm impressed with that. I just want everybody to congratulate Shine Sinatra. I love you for that, man. Now I see why you in Loaf Music. Now I see what's up. I know you said you're a low-key guy. Attended your live streams a couple times. I mean, just once, and you do say you were low-key and everything. I see what you mean. You got a lot of stuff off your chest I didn't know about you, man. I take it back. I take back any doubt I had. But yeah, Shine Sinatra, a lot of good verses on this track, a lot of good solos on this track, a lot of good verses on this album, a lot of good solos on this album. I don't know why I can't speak tonight. It's probably because it's late. But Shine Sinatra, I'm really happy about that. So Old Earth, this is a gem. It's real close to the next track on the list of my top 3. It's like number 2, but only by a slight margin because of the play, how many times I played it. The top 1 though is Born to Be King. Now, on this piece, I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. I almost cried because the beat is so pristine. Like KidzinBrooklyn, I don't know. I don't know how to explain myself, man. Like, I play the keys as a jazz artist, and I loved the way the guitar and the jazz on this beat was like done. I don't know if it's a sample or if it's original. I don't care. This is the best beat on the album. And it really set that emotional tone. Before Shadow the Great even did the intro, it set the emotional tone for it. And yo, man, it really opened my heart to this, man. And when I heard the title Born to Be King, I was like, this is going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. And when I heard Shadow's verse, and the way you did the hook, Shadow, was genius. I don't know if y'all listening to this or not. But yo, that hook was, that's what I'm talking about, man. It really got me back on my feet, it's albums like these that get me back on my grind, like I'm working on my debut album too, and like inspiration has just been off and on. And when I see other artists like who of my genre, who of my age, really putting out that positivity, it really has an effect on me, man. It helps me get back in the studio. And Shadow the Great, this piece right here, I don't know how y'all wrote it, but it just seems perfect for y'all. I don't know why this didn't drop earlier, but it's perfect. It was just, the hook is perfect. Shadow Your Great verse is perfect, man. Shine Sinatra's verse is perfect. Key Daff's verse is perfect. So those are dopes. This is the track on the album where I honestly can't say that I don't like any other person's verse over anyone else. The thing about Loaf Music and me is when I listen to their tracks, I usually have an obvious favorite verse on the track. Like, take for instance, on Timeless, I love Kid Daff's verse over Shadow's. No shade to Shadow, but I mess with that verse more. If I'm listening to, let's see, what's another track he did on, like Slow Slide Off Kid. Actually, Slide Off Kid is one of those tracks where I can't pick. That's a bad choice. Let's see, think. Once again, like Butter for the Bread, for instance. If I'm listening to Butter for the Bread, I like your dad's verse again over Also Dope. Also Dope's verse is killer. It's killer, man. Don't get me wrong. But on this track, Born to Be King, I loved everyone's verse. I felt it. I vibe to it. I replay everyone's verse, equal play, and I bump it, everything. And I'll tell you this: when I was first listening to the track, and I saw how long it was, like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh man. Well, it's not actually 5 minutes. It's a little bit less than that, but I was like, man, this is gonna be good. And when I heard at the end of Shine Sinatra's verse, because Sean had a pretty long verse, I was like, man, because I was almost in tears at this point, because not only did I really feel the track emotionally, I wanted Key Daff and Oh So Dope to have a verse, and it looked like it was running out of time. I was like, no, let Key Daff and Oh So Dope be on this track, because it just wouldn't be right. After hearing the pristine beat and hearing the theme of it and hearing Shadow and Shine Sinatra knock it down, I was like, man, Key Daff and Oh So Dope gotta be on this, or it's just not. I would feel robbed. That's the word. I would feel robbed. And to be honest, I would never play the track again. I would really hate it, because if Key Daff and Oh So Dope weren't on this track, but they were. Now, their verses weren't as long as Shine Sinatra's or Shadow the Great's, but they were enough. What was said was said. And I don't want to give it away, but Kidaf, also, I felt it, and I love the flavor. This is why I love rap crews over just single artists, because hip hop is a community, man. And when you bring different flavors to it, it just adds a variety. Like let's just take just take their voices. Shadow the Great has that mid-tone, mid-range. Like it's like if you had a bunch of singers, right? You had that mid-tone alto range. Well, actually he's more higher pitched, but you know, you got Shadow in the middle, right? You got Sean Sinatra with the deep baritones and like the edge to him. You got Key Daff with the it's like a raspy, but it works. It's a nice misty, raspy, like smoky type of flavor, and then you got Oso Dope with the high pitches and stuff. So it's like an orchestra. It's like an ensemble, man. And and that's why I love the group, because of the range. And when everybody's you know what? I think I just debunked something. When everybody, all four of them, supply a verse to a track, that's how you know I love it, man. I mean, anyway, I'm rambling too much, but yeah, it's because it brings a lot of flavor to it. So anyway, the whole album as a whole, I don't want to make this too long. The whole album as a whole, man. Okay, this is a different feel from Live from the Dungeon. If you thought Live from the Dungeon was good, that's like an intro album. So you know when a group comes together first, their first project is they're getting used to each other, you know, and everything like that. You can kind of get that vibe off of Live from the Dungeon. Live from the Dungeon, they've been doing it as a crew for a long time, but you can get the feel as a musical group, they're getting used to each other on that one. But this one, they are together in full force, and they're giving us deeper knowledge. Kidaf mentioned in an interview when I forget which channel it was on Team Backpack. I don't think it was on Team Backpack. No, it was for like Afro. It wasn't even Afro Punk. It was some interview did the group with them. They got very few interviews, but somebody did an interview with Kidaf was saying, you know, we all start live from the dungeon and we go up. This is the next level up. It's like they went a couple chakras up, you know, to the mind level. Like if you start at the sacral chakra and you go into the 5th or 6th chakra. Like they're giving us that knowledge, you know, everything from history of Native Americans to African Americans to royal blood, why you should be proud to be a king, to everything that they're going through in real life and how to escape the dungeon, how they're hustling to get out of the dungeon. So it's like a progression, and it's a deeper, rawer, more knowledge packed album. That's all I can say, man, and I love it, man. I love Live from the Dungeon. I love Knowledge Born. I love these guys, man. Well, I rambled on for too long. I can't say how much I love these guys. Well, that's all I can say, man. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all go check out this album. Go get this album. There is no option. The link is in the description. The link to their channel's in the description. Go check them out. Go give these guys your love and support. This is the Adam Smasher live from the multiverse. I'm out.